Well, hello and welcome back to Module 5 of this European SchoolNet Academy course on games-based learning in schools. As I mentioned, this is Module 5. You should have already completed 4 modules to get to this stage. Module 1, why use computer games. Module 2, using games for thematic learning. Module 3, learning games. Module 4, what can we learn from games. And once you've finished this module, next week we'll be opening up the last module, Module 6, why is it important to teach about games? As I mentioned, this is Module 5, and this is all about designing games. Just like the other modules, we've split this module into a number of sections. In a minute, I'm going to be giving you a bit of an introduction to games design. Before we start though, I wanted just to point out what this module is not. This is not a module with micro tutorials telling you how to specifically use games design software. Instead, what it is it's a way to showcase some of the great games design work which is already going on across Europe, and also to point you in the right direction of some games design tools and also some tutorials that are available elsewhere on the web. So, let's get started with the introduction, shall we? Fundamentally, I think games design is all about trying to create a generation of creators of digital content. We already know that we've got a generation of consumers of digital content across Europe, but it's increasingly well known that actually we need more and more young people to actually be able to create digital assets as well as just to consume content from the internet or digitally. If we're going to do this, it's really important that we think about some type of progression when we look at games design. I get frustrated sometimes when people say that designing computer games is the domain for the secondary school or the high school. The truth of it is, young people can start designing computer games from a very, very young age, and there are a number of tools and software packages that can help us do this. In any games design course that you're putting together for your school, your local education authority, or your state, always consider what the progression is. When do you want to start introducing the building blocks of good games design, and how can you help young people develop these skills as they progress through their school years and indeed progress through their curriculum? One of the other great things about games is it provides a real hook to get young people interested in coding. Again, across Europe, there's a big focus at the moment about trying to get more young people to be able to code digitally. The problem with this, of course, is that actually lots of young people don't like coding. It's a really, really hard thing to do and can include quite a lot of complicated maths. However, if we take the context of a video game, then this could actually be used as a really, really useful thing to get young people interested in coding in the first place. But again, it's important that we start from a very, very early age. One of the other things that games design allows us to do is it allows us to introduce cross-curricular projects. Because if we think about a good computer game, it's not just about the code in the game itself. Good computer games also have lots of characters in them. Have a look at these 4 silhouettes here, for example. Now, even though you might not have ever played a computer game, or created a computer game for that matter, I bet that you can name some, perhaps all of the characters that are available here in these silhouettes. The reason for that, of course, is because games characters are incredibly culturally relevant and they are now really, really inbuilt into our society. So when we talk about games design, let's not just think about the coding, but let's also try and get young people to think about how story or even characters have developed over time. Here's a great example of character development. Take a look at old Super Mario back in 1985, and let's look at how he's evolved over time as different gaming consoles have evolved over time, all the way up to the most modern games that are available for the Wii U and other handheld consoles. So when we think about computer games, let's think about also dividing young people into teams to develop things like character, story, scenery, or even play around with some of the more sophisticated physics engines that are available in games so that we can adjust the variables. Throughout this module, I'm going to be referring to some of the courses which are available from the Royal Society of Edinburgh. One of the reasons that I'm going to be referring to them is because A, they're very, very good, B, they've started to be translated into a number of languages, and C, they're available to use freely for anybody that's interested in using them for educational purposes. It's the Royal Society of Edinburgh and it's the computing science curriculum. So, that's the end of my introduction. What do I want you to think about before we move on to the next video? I want you to have a think about what are the components of a good video game, and also what could games design teach young people about working in teams. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much.